Eswatini TV, sibuko seMaswati.
A very good afternoon to our viewers back home, and welcome back to another fun and very informative edition of Home Study. My name is Nogwazi Dlamini. I'm hoping that you are ready for another beautiful day of learning, and this is what your Tuesday looks like today. From 2 p.m. until 2:30 p.m. we have the grade 0 lesson. From 2:30 p.m. until 3 p.m. we have general studies for the grades 1 and 2. From 3 p.m. until 3:30 p.m. we have religious education for grades 5 and 6. From 3:30 p.m. until 4 p.m. we have English language for the Form 1s and the Form 2s. From 4 p.m. until 4:30 p.m. we have English language for the Form 4s. And the last subject for the day is Eswatini for the Form 4s from 4:30 p.m. until 5 p.m. And of course, to remind you about our YouTube and our Facebook platforms where we are live right now. And of course, for you guys to use the WhatsApp number whenever you can. Well, not whenever you can, but during your specific lessons. Please ask us relevant questions relevant to the subjects that you are learning, of course. Do not call us, do not send us voice notes, only send us text messages, please. Alright, without wasting any time, now is the grade 0 lesson with Kosi Simelane, who is already with me in the studio. Also joining me in the studio is our sign language interpreter, Nomcebo Dlamini. Kosi, how are you this afternoon?
I'm good, Nogwazi. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Today we're doing bodybuilding food.
Yes.
Alright, what are you expecting your grade 0s to have learned by the end of the lesson?
Okay, Nogwazi, by the end of the lesson, I'd like the grade 0s to be able to identify bodybuilding foods and also identify the number of the week as well as the letter of the week.
Alright, thank you so much for that, Kosi. Grade 0s, I hope you are ready for your lesson. And of course, you can start with your lesson.
Thank you, Nogwazi.
Thank you.
Welcome back and good afternoon, boys and girls at home. My name is Teacher Kosi Simelane, as Nogwazi has said. Alright, before we begin everything, I'd like us to name the days of the week. I know you know the days of the week and you know how many days of the week we have. So let us just say the days of the week with me. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So these are the days of the week. And I'd like us to know what is the day today. I think you also want to know what is the day today. Okay, I can hear someone saying it is Monday. Is it Monday today? No, it was Monday yesterday. So the day after Monday, it is Tuesday, which makes it Tuesday today. So the day today is Tuesday. With me here, I've got this card and it shows us and it tells us that today is Tuesday. We are going to put the card here. And please let us read together. Today is Tuesday. Today is Tuesday. Well done. Now we want to know how is the weather today. We are in different places. I am going to tell you how is the weather where I am today, and you're going to look through your windows and see how is the weather where you are today. So let us quickly look through the windows as we sing those songs. How is the weather? How is the weather? How is the weather today? How is the weather? How is the weather? How is the weather today? Alright, come back, boys and girls. I think you have seen how is the weather where you are today. I am going to tell you how is the weather where I am. Where I am today, the weather is cloudy, but it isn't cold. It is cloudy, but it is warm. It is a very good day today. The weather outside is very warm and it's cloudy. There is no sun that is going to be hitting you. It is just a warm day, and the clouds are up in the sky. The clouds are up in the sky. And by the way, do you know what color the clouds? Yes, some clouds are white and some are gray. So the weather today is a cloudy day and it is warm, remember. So let us move on to the color of the week. It is a new week and we are going to learn about a new color. I think you're so much excited to know what is the color of this week. Okay, with me here, I've got this sheet of paper. Can you tell me what color is this? Someone is saying it is. Yes, this sheet of paper is white. The color of the paper is white. And here I've got this photo frame. This is a photo frame. And what color is the photo frame here? It is also white. Oh, okay. The paper is white and the photo frame is white. Now I've got this lovely cup here. It even smiling. Wow, which means something very nice inside is good. It's in this cup. So the color of this cup is white. Very good. We are going to put it here. And here I've got another card and it's going to show us, what is this? A goose. Well done. This is a goose. And what color is the goose? It is also white. And that gives us the color of the week, which gives the color of the week is color white, because we had a white photo frame, a white paper, we also have a white cup, a white goose. The color of the week is color white. Well done, boys and girls. I know you're so much excited about today's lesson. Let us move on quickly to the letter of the week. There are so many letters that we have learned about before. Last week, we were talking about the letter M. Today, we are going to talk about another letter. But before we say the letter of this week, I want you to tell me, what are these things on these picture cards that I'm going to show you? Here is this one. What can you see on this picture card? Nails. Well done. These are nails. These are nails. And also I have this. And what do you see in this card? Yes, well done, boys and girls. This is a nurse. This is a nurse. Now I've got this last one. Can you see what is here? This is a net. This is a net. We have nails, we have a nurse, and also a net. All these words, when you say them, they make the same sound, and the sound is N. When you want to say nails, there is this sound that comes up. It says N. And when you say nurse, there is the N sound. So the letter of the week is letter N, which has the sound N. The letter of the week is letter N, which has the sound N. There are many words that begins with the letter N and makes the sound N at the beginning when you say them. So the letter of this week is letter N, and it has the sound N. Very good, boys and girls. Oh, you're so smart. I can see, and you're so happy today. Let us move on to the shape of the week. There are also many shapes that we have learned. Many shapes. But today we're going to learn another shape. The shape of the week is a crescent. The shape of the week is a crescent. This shape is a crescent. So there are many things that are shaped like a crescent. With me here, I've got this, and what is it? Yes, it is a banana. It is a banana. Yes, and the banana is in the crescent shape. It is crescent shape. We also have this, and what is it? It is a bun, but yeah, it is a bread or bun. We call it a croissant. Yes, it is also in a crescent shape. The shape of the week is a crescent. There are many other things that are shaped like a crescent. When you go outside during the night, you might see a moon. The moon won't be in a circular form, but it will be shaped like this, and you will see some small stars there, which means a moon can shape like a crescent. So This shape is a crescent. A banana is shaped like a crescent, and the croissant, this bun here, is shaped like a crescent. Well done, boys and girls. You are so clever today. Now let us move on to the number of the week. I know you like counting. I like counting too. So before we do anything, let us count numbers using our fingers from 1 up to 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wow! We have counted from number 1 up to number 12. We can count to so many numbers, but today I want us to count from number 1 up to number 12. And here you can see, what do you see up here? Yes, this is an egg tray, but the tray is empty. Are there eggs in here? No, there are no eggs. The egg tray is empty. There is nothing there. So with me here, I've got some eggs that I'm going to put inside that egg tray. We are going to count together to see how many eggs do we really have. Let us start counting the eggs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, okay, the egg is still not full. 8, 9, 10. Oh, the tray is still empty. There's still more eggs left. We said 10. Now we have 11 eggs. Oh, 12 eggs. This tray has 12 eggs now. You can see the eggs are so much surprised that, oh, we are in the tray again. Now let us count these eggs again so that we can be sure that they count up to number 10. Let us count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, there are 12 eggs in this tray. So the number of the week is number 12. The number of the week is number 12. So when you write number 12, you write number 1, then you write a number 2. You don't space them, but you make them close so that you can see that these two numbers, they are making one number, which is number 12. When you write 1 and 2, it is number 12. So you don't have to space them, because when you space them, it's going to be 1 and 2. But when they're like this, it's number 12. The number of the week is number 12. Now let us move on, boys and girls, to the theme of this week. We are talking about bodybuilding food. Last week we were talking about food, and we spoke about energy giving food. Do you remember what energy giving food is? The food that when you eat that food, it gives us power to do a lot of things, to run, to jump, even to talk. So today we are going to talk about bodybuilding food. When we're talking about bodybuilding food, we are talking about the food that when you eat the food, it helps our bodies to grow. Remember one time, maybe when you see your pictures, your photos at home, you can see that you were so young, you were a very tiny baby, you couldn't even crawl. But as months go by and years go by, you grew and grew, and today you're just a big girl ready to go to the big school now, because you were eating the food that helps your body to grow, and it makes your bones to be strong, your teeth to be strong. That food, we say it is the bodybuilding food. We need to eat our bodybuilding food always, because if we don't, we are not going to grow. You're not going to grow and be big like mommy. So you always be small, Do you like to be small always? No, but we want to grow. So the bodybuilding food helps our bodies to grow, helps our bones to be strong, helps our teeth to be strong. So let us look at this chart here. I've got many food here, and here I've got some beans. Here I've got some beans, and here eggs and meat. When you eat these, they help your body to grow. And who can tell me what is this? Yes, this is milk. And by the way, what color is the milk? It is white. Well done. The milk is white. Also, when you have milk, you are helping yourself with the bodybuilding food. Here, I've got this bowl here. What is in this bowl? It is white in color. And what is it? It is sour milk, emasi. I don't know if some of you like emasi. I do like emasi. So when you eat emasi, it's part of the bodybuilding food. And here I've got 2 slices here. And what are they? They are cheese. Yes, this is a yellow cheese and a white cheese. When you eat cheese, it is part of the bodybuilding food. It helps your body to grow. And here, what are these? Do you know this? These are mushrooms. These are mushrooms. I think some of you say, I don't know mushrooms, or I don't eat mushrooms. Mushrooms are good for your body to grow. So please do eat mushrooms if you are not allergic to them though. Okay, and here we have, yes, we have some chicken. Chicken meat, when we eat chicken, it also helps us to grow. It is part of the bodybuilding food. And can you tell me what are these? These are peanuts. These are peanuts. Today we have these peanuts, but there are many kinds of nuts that you can eat, and they are also part of the bodybuilding food. So you can have your peanuts, you can have your walnuts if you know them, but they all nuts, they help us to grow. Okay, and here, what are these? Yes, these are fish. When you eat fish, you help your body to grow. It is also part of the bodybuilding food. Remember, boys and girls, we said when we eat bodybuilding food, it helps our bodies to grow. We not become small, we grow and we grow. Our muscles to be strong, our bones to be strong, our teeth to be strong. So bodybuilding food is part of the food that we have to eat always, so that we grow old and we grow and be strong. So we said our bodybuilding food are beans, eggs. We also have meat, milk, sour milk, which is emasi, cheese, the mushrooms, chicken, peanuts, and fish. But there are many others, but today I've just brought this for you to master. Okay, remember, boys and girls, that is the end of our lesson today. So let us remind ourselves what we're talking about. We're talking about the bodybuilding food, which is the food that we have to eat always, so that our body becomes strong and we are able to grow. And also we have the number of the week, which is number 12, and we have this egg tray here which has 12 eggs. And also the letter of the week is letter N, which makes the sound N. That is the end of the lesson. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you so much, Teacher Kosi, for your wonderful lesson. We're hoping your grade zeros really did enjoy it, and we hope you have a beautiful day.
Thank you, Ogwazi.
We'll be seeing you soon, I'm sure.
Yes, you will.
Thank you so much. Grade 1 and grade 2s, please get closer to your screens. Up next is your general studies lesson with Bebisile Hlajwayo. We will be right back after this.
Siyanibonani ke bantu abakethu ngugogo lona bantu abakethu kulamalanga seyanzile indzaba ukuthi kubulalane bantu labathandzanako uzuko umbuto wagogo umshaya njani nje umuntu lomthandzako uze umbulale cha nangabe ningasaboni ngasolinye naloyo lothandzana naye funani phela umuntu wesithathu lo ngeke akhetha luhlangothi angenelele la kule nkinga yena nanibona ukuthi lokho ngeke kuze kuniside hambani emaphoyiseni ehlangothini lalaba lababuke kuhlukubetana emakhaya kutane kunisida lo sisive sibambisene embutho wembube sithi ungambulali ungadibulali ningabulalani.
Swag radar. Hey girlfriend, call me. Hey, my name is Gigi Callahan. And Gigi's a movie star I haven't seen in my life. I can't really say hello everyone. This is who I am. But let's go. You want a piece of me? Yeah, you know you wanna go with the boom, boom, pow. You ain't on my swag radar.
Emaphoyisa neseve lolu hlelo lwakho loliqhamuka khona embuthweni wembube lolifundzisa kabanti liphindze licwayise sona phela seve ngato tindzaba tekuvikela bona kucala.
Thokotela uhlelo lwakho emaphoyisa nesive kuso sikhathi lesisha njalo ngabo lesine ngensimbi yesihlanu sihambama khona la Eswatini TV.
We're going to learn about what water is made of, where we can find it in the world, develop an understanding about how water is on a continuous journey called the water cycle. Are you ready? Let's go!
How do we hear? How do we see? What makes up the air we breathe? How does a plane fly over the sea? How do the planets float so weightlessly? Let's go! It's technology. Let's go! Science, you and me. Let's go! We're learning every day. Let's go! And you need the way.
Why should we pay our TV license?
The content on our local television is actually more up to date. The industry is enhanced.
It is a criminal offense not to pay your TV license and attracts a fine of 500 emalangeni or 6 months imprisonment.
And the industry is definitely blooming, ladies and gentlemen, so that's what we have for you, but we'll be right back just after the break and we'll give you more of Miss V.
Pay my TV license. That's why I can enjoy the benefits of an enhanced industry and keep track with recent transformation.
Mommy, who pays for a TV license and what are they paying for?
The owners of TV set and a gadget with a tuner like DVD set have to pay.
Pay your TV license at NetBank with the details provided on screen. Or use your cell phone via the mobile money pay. You could also visit your nearest post office and pay there. Pay your TV license via Eswatini Mobile Imali. Any TV device retailer can purchase a license to trade. Pay your TV license and enhance the industry.
Welcome back to Home Study, your favorite teleeducation program on Eswatini TV. My name is Nogwazi Dlamini. Right now we are doing grade 1 and grade 2 general studies with Godisile Hlachwayo, who is already with me in the studio. Also joining me in the studio is Nombumelelo Hatebe, our sign language interpreter. How are you doing this afternoon, Tsipsin?
I'm very good, Nogwazi. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Thank you.
Today's topic is where my home is and my senses, right?
Yes.
What are you expecting your grade 1s and grade 2s to have learned by the end of this lesson?
After today's lesson, I'm expecting my beautiful grade 1s and 2s to be able to name their township or village.
Okay.
They are also expected to draw their home and state where it is.
Mm-hmm.
They are also expected to discuss the 5 senses that we have and their organs. And lastly, they will match the sense organs with their function.
All right, thank you so much for that, Teacher Hlachwayo. Grade 1s and grade 1s and grade 2s, I am hoping that you are ready for your very, very fun and informative lesson. And to remind you back at home that we are live right now on YouTube and on Facebook. You can join us on those platforms as well, and to also use the WhatsApp number to text us any questions that you might have. You may please begin with your lesson.
Thank you, Nogwazi. A very good afternoon to you, my beautiful angels, my grade 1s and 2s. Greeting you is your teacher, Teacher Tebi, taking you for general studies. We are learning about where my home is and my senses. Why do we have to learn about where my home is and my senses? My dear angels, as we live at our homes, we should know the names of the places where our homes are found. And then, as we explore the environment that we live in, we use our senses. All right, let's begin the lesson. Look at the picture. What do you see? One is saying, I can see houses. Yes, there are different houses. Here is this one. Here is a house too. This is also a house. This is also a house. These are huts. These types of houses are called huts. Who knows what this is? What is this? This is a kraal. This is a kraal. What is a kraal used for? A kraal is a house or a shelter for cows, goats, and sheep. All right, when you look at this picture, where do you think this type of home is found? My dear angels, we have 2 types of settlements. We have the rural or village, the rural or village. This is Nomzamo's home, which is found in Magele. Magele is a village. So this is a village home. How do we identify a village home? My dear angels, usually a village home has many houses, as we have seen. In one home. Many houses in one home. That's a village home. As you can see in this picture, we have house number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. There are 7 houses in one home. Okay, now let's look at examples of a village or rural settlements. Examples of rural or village settlements. This is the first example. What do you see? There are different homes. Here is a home over there. There is a home over there. Here is a home over here. And these are fields where they plow or grow crops. So in a village, we see that the homes are scattered all over the place, and there are open spaces or land between homes. The homes are not together, but they are scattered with land for plowing in between. Okay, look at this second picture, example number 2. This is also an example of a rural or village settlement. Again, the homes are scattered. Yet in this one, the homes are many, but they are not close together. You see also the home has got different houses in each home. All right. Then the second type of settlement, we have township settlement, township homes. How does that look like? Look at the picture, my dear learners. You see in this picture, there is only one big house. So usually in the township, one big house where the whole family lives. We see one big house where the whole family lives. Then the house inside is divided into rooms. Is divided into different rooms. Okay, let's go on and look at the examples of township settlements. We see this one. There, this is a home. This is another home. This is another home. This is another home. This is a road. The homes are next to the road. And this is a shop or complex. You see there are cars here. So a township settlement, the homes are close to each other. There are no open spaces or land between the homes. Usually the homes are divided by a fence or just a small piece of land. Okay, the second picture. This is another example of a township settlement. We see different flats here. These are rented flats. These are rented flats. You see in this picture, there are too many houses in a small space, in a small piece of land. This is a place where people come and rent these flats so that they are closer to jobs, because it's a township settlement, a place with job opportunities. So these are examples of township settlements. All right, my friend, as we live in the environment, I have said earlier on that we explore the environment. How? We use our senses. The senses that we use the body parts. Let's look at important body parts, or just a few. What you must remember or note is that different parts of the body have different functions. Let's take a look for this part of the body. What is this? Good, this is the foot. What do we use the foot for? We use the foot for walking, running. Okay, that's good, my angels. Let's look at this one. What body part is this? This is a hand. Very good, my sweet pumpkins. This is a hand. What do we use the hand for? We use the hand for carrying things, for touching things. Yes, that's good. Let's look at this one. What is this? This is the eye. Yes, it's the eye. What do we use the eye for? We use the eye to look. We cannot move around without seeing. So the eyes help us to see. And what part of the body is this? Is the ear. Yes, that is the ear. What do we use the ear for? We use the ear for listening. That's good, my angels, for listening. Okay, look at this part of the body. What is this? This is the nose. What do we use the nose for? We use the nose for smelling. Yes, we use the nose for smelling. Okay, when you come next to the toilet, it's your nose that will tell you, it smells bad. When you come next to a garden and there are flowers smelling sweet, it's your nose that will tell you, wow, the flowers smell sweet. Okay, let's see this part. What is this part? This is the mouth. What do we use the mouth for? We use the mouth for talking, singing, and eating. As you love eating a lot. Even in class when we are teaching, you take your lunchbox, you are busy eating under the desk using the mouth. Okay, let's go on, my dear angels, and look now at the 5 senses. We have 5 senses that helps us to explore the environment. The first sense is the sense of touch, using the hand. If you are touching a hot surface using your hand, you will feel that it is hot and quickly remove your hand because you have felt that it is hot. Even if it's cold, your hand or your skin will tell you. The skin we touch, we feel with the skin. Okay, the sense of smell. The sense of smell, we smell using the nose. We smell using the nose. Then the sense of taste. We taste with our tongue. We taste with our tongue. The tongue in the mouth tells us whether the food is sweet or sour or bitter. That's the sense of taste. Then we have the sense of sight. The sense of sight using the eye. The eye helps us to see. The eye helps us to see. So we say is the sense of sight. We are able to know how objects look like because of the sense of sight. And then the sense of hearing using the ear. We hear, we listen to different sounds and hear different sounds using the ear. Okay, very good, my friends. We have said we have the sense of smell, the sense of touch, the sense of taste, the sense of sight, and the sense of hearing. There are 5 senses. Let's go on and look at how these children in the picture are using their senses. Look at this one. This boy is holding a cat and brushing it. How does the cat feel when you brush it? The fur is so soft. So this boy is feeling the cat, touching the cat and feeling the softness of the skin using their hand, as we have said. And what is this one doing? She is holding a microscope or a lens, looking at something, looking using the eye. He is using the eye. You see the eye here, and he's looking through the lens to see what is that side. All right. And what is this one doing? Yes, he's eating ice cream. How does she taste the ice cream? Using the tongue. How does ice cream taste, by the way? It tastes sweet. All right. So we taste using the tongue. And what is this boy doing? Yes, he is smelling a flower using the nose. He is smelling a flower using the nose. And this one, what is he doing? He is listening. He's even touching the ear so that he can hear carefully. He is listening using the ear. So this is the sense of touch, sense of sight, sense of taste, sense of smell, and the sense of hearing. That's good, my lovely angels. Let's go on. Now I have some work for you to do. Okay? On your workbook on page 19, you are going to draw a picture of your home and say where it is. You mentioned whether it is in the village or in the township, and you name the place where your home is. Ask your mother, brother, sister, or whosoever can help you to write the name of the place where your home is found. And then on page 20, my beautiful angels, name each part of the body and color in the pictures. You name the parts of the body that you see there and color in the pictures. On page 21, you draw lines to match each body part with the correct sense. You draw lines to match. If you see the eye, means you match the eye with the sense of, yes, the sense of sight. So you match the body parts with their correct senses. And lastly, on page 22, you are going to say what sense that girl in those pictures is using, and then you trace the missing letters to finish the sentences. All right, my dear angels, let us quickly look at what we have learned today. In today's lesson, we have learned that our homes are found either in the village or township. We have also learned that different parts of the body have different functions. And lastly, we have learned that we have 5 senses which we use to explore our environment. That's all for today. I hope you have learned a lot. I was very happy to be with you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much, Teacher Tsepsile, for your beautiful lesson on where your home is and the 5 senses. We're hoping the grade 1s and the grade 2s actually enjoyed. I'm sure they did, actually. They enjoyed it.
I hope so too.
All right. Thank you so much for that. You have a lovely day ahead of you.
Thank you.
All right. Grade 5 and grade 6. Up next is your religious education lesson with Winnie Dlamini. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this.
I mean, God had to go at me a number of times before I finally swallowed this. Because we just have such a wrong mindset about what God expects out of us. And you know what religion is? Religion is what we think God expects out of us instead of us looking at what He's done for us. We have worth and value not because of what we do, but because Jesus died for us. Because we're no better than anybody else. Anything that we are that in Christ, or we're nothing at all. And I enjoy ministry so much more now. I'm so comfortable, and I love God, and I like myself, and I don't care what you think about that, but I just like myself. I spent enough years hating myself. I'm done with all that. Amen.
Kuti bulala is not a solution.
Nami ngithi abasubulalana abasubulala. Abaphile bonke labantu babe nemkhuhlane nakunemkhuhlane.
Abantu abafuni uthola ema-advices kulabanye abayi kuyofuna ema-advices kulabanye uthi umuntu unama-advisor lokule sengikudecide kanti-ke nemthandazo nokuthandaza kakhulu kuyasida empilweni kuthandaza ukholwa nje empilweni kuyasida kakhulu.
Ngithi mina abantu bangathi bulala ngoya labo kulaba bakasaga inombolo yamahhala namaphoyisa amahhala uyakulaka kusitha nje nambuya ngikhuluhlukubeda akusiyasitakana
siyatsingana onke malanga silekelelane nawe uva ngathi inkinga zetinkulu kakhulu kunawe cela sito la ungathola khona chubeke uphile
kwenta lokuthi babulalane abantu lesinye isikhathi lokuthi athi indu yakhe
uvana kwakho nemlovana naye ukuthi sekwendeke but akusho ukuthi impilo seyiphelile.
Mawufuna lisito shayela 999 noma quadri 9 noma uye kuleyo ndzawo locabanga ukuthi lusito ungalithola khona.
Singamaphoyisa embobene sive sithi esiveni sakangwane akuphele kubulalana akuphele kudibulala nangabe unayo inkinga thola lisito.
Welcome back to Home Study on Eswatini TV. My name is Nogwazi Dlamini, and right now we are doing grade 5 religious education with Winnie Dlamini, who is already with me in the studio. Also joining me in the studio is our sign language interpreter Nomcebo Dlamini. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, Nogwazi. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Today in our RE lesson we're doing the fall of man, right?
Yes.
What are you expecting your grade 5s and your grade 6s to have learned by the end of the lesson?
Okay, before we move on, Nogwazi, let me greet my learners at home. Good afternoon, grade 5 and 6. Today we're going to look on fall of man. Fall of man. Okay, dear learners, our today's rationale is to bring awareness to the importance of obedience to biblical teachings and to instill moral values for real life situation. Okay, dear learner, our learning objectives today is by the end of the lesson, as a learner should be able to describe the origin of sin, state the punishment given to the individuals who sinned. Also, you have to explain the results of sin. Another one, you have to describe the characteristics of the individuals in the story. Okay, dear learner, I think you do have your learning materials, which are the RSV Bible, a pen, and an exercise book so that you can write. Okay, dear learner, I'm having keywords which we are going to use while we are learning. The first word is sin. What is sin? Sin is breaking the laws of God. The next one is punishment. Punishment is a penalty given to someone. That punishment is given to someone when that person has broken maybe a law. It is for breaking the law. The next one is serpent. A serpent is a snake. The next word is trickster. A trickster is someone who openly questions and mocks authority. Okay, the next word is deceptive. Deceptive is misleading. Okay, dear learner, our previous lesson we learned about the first people God created, how he created the first people. And we know that he created these people and put them in the Garden of Eden. Okay, we have said our topic is fall of man. Okay, let us look at our introduction. You are aware that every family has rules to be followed. E.g.,
You must not come home late. How do your parents react, dear Lena, when you break any of these rules? Obviously, they are angry. They become furious. Also, God gave people rules or laws to follow. These rules are found on Exodus 20, verse 1. Today, dear Lena, we will look at breaking the laws of God, which is sin, and how God punishes people who break his laws. Okay, dear Lena, we have said we are going to look at the origin of sin. In my picture here, you can see there is Adam, as we have learned in our previous lesson that the first people God created were Adam and Eve. And he put them in the Garden of Eden so that they can tilt it. Adam and Eve are with the animals in the garden. Okay, dear Lena, let's move further. The first people God created were Adam and Eve. God created them in his own image. He then placed them in the Garden of Eden. He gave them fruits and vegetables to eat. Then God gave them commands that they are found in Genesis 2, verse 16. What is the command? God said, you may freely eat every tree from the garden, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat. That was the command that God gave to Adam and Eve. He told them that they may freely eat of every tree of the garden, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil they shall not eat. Okay, dear Lena, what happened next? A serpent, which we have said it's a snake, came and deceived Eve. What did the serpent say to Eve? It just asked a question. Did God say you shall not eat any tree of the garden? That is found in Genesis 3, verse 1. Eve told the serpent that God said they must not eat the fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Why? Because they will die. The serpent told Eve that they would not die, but their eyes will be opened and they will be clever like God. Now the serpent is deceiving Eve. Eve ate the fruit and gave it to Adam. Okay, dear Lena, there is my picture here. There is Adam, Eve, and the serpent. My picture shows Adam, Eve, and the serpent. There is Eve. She has already eaten the fruit. Now he gave the fruit to Adam. Here is the serpent. I hate this serpent. The serpent that made these two to disobey God's command. Let us look, dear Lena. After eating the fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, they saw that they were naked. They hadn't realized before that they were naked. But after eating from the tree, they realized that they were naked. And they covered themselves with leaves of a fig tree. Now, dear Lena, they had sinned against God. They've broken the laws of God. What were the law? What was the law or the command? They should not eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Then we can say that sin originated in the Garden of Eden, whereby the first people who were Adam and Eve disobeyed God's command after being deceived by a serpent. Okay, dear Lena, what did God do after that? We all know that God hates sin. God hates sin. Then God will give them punishment. All the people who have sinned, or even the serpent, God gave them a punishment. Why? Because he hates sin. Why? Sin damages the relationship between God and people. So, therefore, God will never leave sin unpunished. That's why he punished the serpent, Eve, and Adam. We find that verse, dear Lena, in Genesis 3, verse 14 to 17. What was the punishment, dear Lena, given to the serpent? The serpent was cursed to crawl or move on its belly. God cursed is to crawl or to move on its belly. He also said the serpent will eat dust and always be disliked by humans. We all know that we now hate snakes. And also God said humans shall hit it on the head, dear Lena. That was the punishment given to the serpent. Now, dear Lena, let us look at the punishment given to Eve. God also punished Eve. He said to Eve will experience multiplied pain during childbirth. God also said the snake shall bite her heel. Then another punishment was that men shall rule over her. That was a punishment given to Eve. Also, Adam was not left behind, dear Lena. Also, Adam was punished. God said Adam will work hard to produce food from the soil. Now they are not going to eat from the garden. Adam will work hard to produce food from the soil. Then God gave them, I think this is a severe punishment. God drove Adam and Eve away from the Garden of Eden. He drove them away from the Garden of Eden. They will no longer stay in the garden. Okay, dear Lena, let us look at our picture here. It is an example of Adam and Eve being chased away from the Garden of Eden. We can see here it's Adam, and this picture here is Eve. And here is the angel of God. And now they are being chased away from the Garden of Eden. Okay, dear Lena, let us look at the results of sin. Now they've sinned before God. And even us, if we sin, we do experience these results. The first result of sinning is guilt and shame. When we read Genesis 3 verse 8, Adam and Eve hid from God. Why? Because now they were guilty and they were ashamed. Another result of sin is hard work. Adam and Eve will no longer eat from the garden, but they have to work hard for food. They will no longer eat from the garden, but they have to work hard for food. Another result of sin is death. We find that in Genesis 3 verse 19. Genesis 3 verse 19 says, Adam will return to the earth where he was taken. Also, Romans 6 verse 23 says, for the wages of sin is death. Okay, dear Lena, we have looked on the results of sin. Now let us look at the characters of the individuals in this story. the character of God. What can we say about God? We can say God is omnipresent, which means that God is present everywhere. Also, a character of God is omniscient, which means God is all-knowing. He knew that Adam and Eve now had eaten from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Let us look at Adam, the character of Adam. Adam is weak. We can say Adam is weak. Why? He listened to a woman. Also, we can say he was disobedient to God. He disobeyed God's command. He disobeyed God's command. Another character we have to look is Eve's character. What can we say about Eve? Eve is disobedient, or he was disobedient. She also disobeyed God's command. What was the command? They should not eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. But Eve disobeyed God's commands. Also, Eve was weak. She listened to the serpent. What can you say about the serpent, dear Lena? The serpent is deceptive. It misled the woman. Also, we can say it's a trickster. Why? Because it questioned God's authority. Okay, dear Lena, I think we've reached the end of our lesson today. But before we end, I've got an assessment for you here. Question number 1. Describe how, where, and how sin originated. Describe where and how sin originated. It's 2 marks. Number 2. Give any 2 results of sin. Also, it's 2 marks. Question number 3. Do you blame God for driving Adam and Eve away from the Garden of Eden? Support your answer, showing that you have thought about different points of view. That is 4 marks. I think you were writing, dear Lena. Now let us look at the answers. Question number 1 say, describe where and how sin originated. Sin originated in the Garden of Eden by Adam and Eve after being deceived by a serpent. Question number 2, dear Lena. Give any 2 results of sin. These are results of sin. It's guilt and shame, hard work, and death. Let us move to question number 3, dear Lena. This is an evaluation question. Do you blame God for driving Adam and Eve away from the Garden of Eden? Support your answer, showing that you have thought about different points of view. Okay, here are your answers, dear Lena. 1 can say, no, I don't blame God for chasing them away because they had disobeyed his commands of not eating from the tree, the fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. However, 1 can say, yes, God was right to chase them away from the garden because we know was right, because we know him as a forgiving Father. Let me move back, dear Lena. The question said, do you blame God for driving Adam and Eve away from the garden? Yes. Yes, because they had disobeyed God's command of not eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Then, however, one can say no. Why? Because we know God as a forgiving Father. So he should have forgiven them and gave them another chance. Okay, Telena, in our conclusion, we've learned about the origin of sin, the punishment given to the serpent, Adam and Eve. These were the individuals who had sinned. Also, we've learned about the results of sin. Then lastly, we looked on the characters of God, Adam, Eve, and the serpent. That's the end of our lesson today, dear Lena.
Thank you very much, Winnie, for your lovely lesson. We're hoping your grade 5s and your grade 6s enjoyed it, and you have yourself a lovely, lovely day.
Thank you, thank you, Nobas.
All right, thank you so much. From 1s and from 2s, please get closer to your screens. Up next is your English language lesson with Doreen Mamba. We will be right back after this.
Your favorite music show is back. We're bringing you the hottest music videos and live studio interviews with your favorite celebrities. We're giving you a front row seat to the latest fashion trends as well as your weekend gig guide. Join us live on social media and call in to send in your shout-outs. Catch This Weekend Eswatini every Friday at 5:30 p.m. live on Eswatini TV.
A very warm welcome back to Home Study on Eswatini TV, your favorite tele-education program. My name is Nogwazi Dlamini, and right now we are doing English language for the Form 1s and the Form 2s with Doreen Mamba. A very good afternoon to you if you have just joined us, especially if you are in Form 1 and in Form 2. Doreen is already with me in the studio. Also joining me in the studio is our sign language interpreter, Nombumelelo Hadebe. A very good afternoon, Doreen. How are you?
I'm okay. And you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Today we're appreciating style in a narrative text.
Yes.
What are you expecting your Form 1s and your Form 2s to have learned by the end of this lesson?
I expect my Form 1s and Form 2s to be able to read a narrative text and then identify the elements of style as they read through.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Doreen. Form 1s and Form 2s, I hope you are ready for your lesson. And of course, a reminder about our social media platforms, YouTube and Facebook, where we are live right now. You can join us on those as well. And of course, to use the WhatsApp number Form 1s and Form 2s to ask us any questions that you might have during this lesson. Doreen, you may please begin with your lesson.
Okay, thanks. Okay, dear learner at home, we will be learning today about appreciating style in a narrative text. Let us look at the objectives for today's lesson. By the end of the lesson, dear learners, you should be able to read a narrative text with understanding. You should be able to read a narrative text with understanding. And you should be able to highlight the elements of style in a narrative text. You should be able to highlight the elements of style in a narrative text, and you should be able to identify phrases that appeal to the emotions or to your senses as readers. Let's move on, dear learner at home. In our previous lesson, we learned about informal language. We read and appreciated an informal text. Then you wrote a letter to a friend using the informal language or using the friendly tone. So in today's lesson, dear learner, you should be able to appreciate style in a narrative text or in a story. Let's move on, dear learner. What is a narrative text then? A narrative text is a story. It's a written story. It describes characters and the events that happen to those characters. A narrative also has a setting. It means that it takes place in a particular place and time. It also has a plot. What is a plot? It is the sequential order of events in the story. A good narrative also has a climax. What is a climax, dear learner? It is the highest point of tension in the story, or it is the peak of the story whereby the conflict is resolved, or whereby the main character is facing the problem he was introduced to in the beginning of the story. So we also have an ending, dear learner. The ending should have a moral lesson. The ending should have a message, a clear message to the reader. What was the intended purpose of the writer when writing that particular text? So there should be a clear moral lesson to the reader. Moving forward, dear learner at home. Now let us read this narrative text. It is about a cracked clay pot. What is a clay pot? It is a pot made out of clay. And what is clay? It is a type of soil. As you have learned in previous grades that there is loamy soil, sand soil and clay soil. So this is the type of soil that is sticky when mixed with water. So in today's narrative text, our story will be based on the cracked clay pot. The word or the verb cracked means that it was damaged in a way. So that is why it had a crack. It had a crack. Let us read, dear Lena, so that we can identify the elements of style here in this narrative text, because we now know that there should be characters. There should be a setting. There should be plot, as in like the sequential order of the events. There also should be a dialogue whereby the characters are communicating to each other. We also expect to see an ending, as we have mentioned that an ending should leave a clear message to the reader. Let me read, dear Lena. I hope you are all okay now. Can we start? There was once a family which lived in a valley. It was the duty of the youngest girl to fetch water twice a day from the green river at the bottom of the valley. She carried the water in 2 huge old clay pots that had been used for this job for so many years. The clay pots were suspended on both ends of a wooden beam, which was carried across the girl's neck. One of the pots had a crack in it, which meant that some of the water leaked out on the journey home. The old clay pot was very ashamed of the crack and knew that it did not serve the purpose as well as its partner did. It wished that it could be whole and that it could bring home a full quota of water for the young girl who carried it. It thought back to other days when it was whole and proudly held all the water that other girls had put into the river. Oh, I wish that I was whole again, it sighed. I am useless. She carries both pots on her young shoulders, but does not get as much water to the family as she could. I am so useless. I am sure that I will soon be replaced by a new clay pot, one with no flaws. The young girl heard the sigh and knew that the clay pot was heart sore. She took the pot in both her hands and spoke to it in a small whisper. "Don't be sad," she said. "I will never replace you. You have given the village so much beauty. Tomorrow, when I fetch the water, I want you to look at the pathway to the river. You will see that there are beautiful flowers that grow only on one side. You did that." The clay pot did not understand, but decided to wait for the morning. Sure enough, there were flowers growing only on one side of the pathway. Smiling, the girl said, "I knew about your flow, and I knew that the trickles of water could do something wonderful. I planted seeds along your side of the path. You water them, and the beautiful flowers that they become every day that I carry you home. See?" She pointed her finger at the long line of beautiful, brightly colored flowers on the side of the path. The clay pot grinned with delight. "I am not useless. I have created something really beautiful without even realizing it. It was my flow which brought beauty in the world. I am glad that I am me. The crack is not a bad thing after all. The young girl smiled at herself. She knew that each of us is special and unique, and that we are true to who we are. We bring beauty and happiness into our life and the lives of those around us. That's the end of the narrative text, dear Lena, at home. So now, can you please answer me, dear Lena? What is the lesson that we have learned in this narrative text? What is the message to the reader? Because we have said that when the writer writes or the storyteller, there should be a clear message to the one who is reading. There should be a clear message, or there should be a lesson that has to be learned by someone, or there should be a precaution, or there should be a warning. So in today's, dear Lena, in today's narrative text, what have we learned? What is the moral lesson? Or what is the message? So, dear Lena at home, you will agree with me that the message is that you should appreciate yourself the way you are. You are special and you are wonderfully made. You are unique in your own way. Do not look down upon yourself. Do not compare yourself to other people, because God made you the way you are for a certain purpose. Let's move forward, dear Lena, so that we can see what we are talking about now. So this is what I was talking about, dear Lena. What is the message in the story? Let us focus on this slide that is on your screen, dear Lena at home. This story teaches the reader a valuable lesson, or it ends with a clear message. What is the message, dear Lena? Each person is unique in his or her own way. There is no useless person in life. Be true to yourself then, and do not want to be someone else. Just appreciate the way you are, because you are special. Dear Lena, please note this. Sometimes you may read a story that has animals as central characters. This is called a fable. It is a story, but it is called a fable, and it also has a moral lesson to be learned after reading it. I believe you have those stories whereby there are animal characters. Can you please think of one story that you have read that has only animal characters? Yes, dear Lena. Do you remember the story of the ant and the lazy grasshopper? Do you remember that during the summer season, the ant was busy collecting food, storing food, and the grasshopper was lazy? And then winter came. There were no trees, there was no grass, there was just nothing. And the ant went into its small hole and started eating. What happened to the grasshopper, dear Lena at home? It starved to death. And it went to the ant and asked for a share of its food. Yet it is huge. And the ant is so small, it's a tiny creature. So what lesson did we learn from that narrative text? We learned that we should not be lazy. Laziness should be discouraged at all times. Every person should work and earn something from your effort and from your tears, so that one day you will gain, you will reap what you have sown, instead of being lazy like the grasshopper. Let's move on, dear Lena. Here is our activity. Since we have just read a narrative text, look through the story and find phrases and sentences that appeal to your senses. For instance, what does the author or storyteller say to bring mental pictures? For example, things you see, things you hear, what you smell, what you feel or touch, or what you taste. So I want you to go back to the narrative text to look for those things, tiny things that appeals to your senses. I think you know, dear Lena, that we have 5 senses. We have the sense of sight, we have the sense of hearing, sense of smell, sense of touch, and the sense of taste. So go back and look for those phrases or the sentences that evokes those certain feelings or those certain senses. So looking back at our narrative text, dear Lena, we can try to look for words. For example, here it says 2 huge old clay pots that has been used. This appeals to the sense of sight, because now we know that these clay pots were not just any ordinary clay pots, but they were huge. They were also old. Besides that, we have heard in our title of the story that they were cracked, or one of them was cracked. So all of these are adjectives, dear Lena. They are describing the noun clay pot. It was cracked, it was huge, it was old. So when you are reading such, we appreciate the type of style that has been used, like the descriptive words that appeals to the senses. Let us look for another one, dear Lena, at home, so that we can get all the senses that we want. For example, this one, dear Lena, it had a crack in it. It also appeals to the sense of sight, because we can imagine a vivid image or a mental picture is painted in our minds of something that is damaged. Let's continue, dear Lena, to look for some other words that appeals to our senses. Yes, dear Lena, I hope you are looking as well. I hope you are looking, dear Lena, at home. Look for words that appeals to the senses, dear Lena, at home. Yes. Now there is this dialogue, or there is this direct speech. Oh, I wish that I was whole again. It sighed. I am useless. Such a phrase appeals to our sense of hearing, because we can hear the clay pot complaining. We can hear this clay pot judging itself that it is useless. We hear this clay pot self-condemning itself that it is useless out of all the clay pots that are there in the world. So this appeals to our sense of hearing, because we can hear it. The clay pot is not there, but it appeals to our sense of hearing. Also, dear Lena, let us try to look for some other words that appeals to our senses. Yes, dear Lena, I hope you are looking. Yes, dear Lena, we can spot this one. You will see that there are beautiful flowers that grow. We can picture, or we can have mental images, dear Lena, at home of beautiful flowers like lavenders, like roses. We can think of any other beautiful flowers that have what? Appealing petals to us. So through these words or phrases, we can see those. Those appeal to the sense of sight as well. Even this one. A long line of beautiful, brightly colored flowers on the side of the path. Yes, dear Lena. That also appeals to the sense of sight, because we can view or see this thing, yet it is not there. We can picture it in our minds. There is also this phrase, the clay pot grinned with delight, which means that the clay pot was happy. The clay pot made that noise, that sound that shows that now it is relieved. That appeals to the sense of hearing, dear Lena. Let's move on, dear Lena, at home to look for some others. I believe we have exhausted all. But then the lesson continues. Number 2. Select verbs that create a mental picture in the story. For example, inspect, instead of look closely, grinned instead of smile. Let us go back, dear Lena, to look at those verbs. Those verbs. Yes, dear Lena. Let us look to those verbs, dear Lena, that adds meaning. Those powerful verbs. Verbs that shows action. Yes, dear Lena, at home, I hope you are looking. The water leaked. We can have a picture of water droplets from the clay pot. They didn't say there was water oozing from the clay pot, but they say the water leaked. Let's continue, dear Lena. We are looking for verbs. The girl sighed. They didn't say the girl said, like you normally do. This is a verb that shows action, dear Lena. Let us continue looking for some words, for some verbs, dear Lena, that shows that indeed there is action there. Let us continue looking, dear Lena. Yes, and I knew that the trickles of water could do something wonderful. Let's continue reading, dear Lena. I planted seeds. This is a word. I planted is a verb that shows action. Even this one, dear Lena, grinned. It shows action. It doesn't just say the clay pot smiled. Now, dear Lena, we have mentioned in the objectives that you should be able to appreciate style in a narrative text. Let's go back and look at the features of a narrative text. I think this is going to take something like a minute because we are highlighting. We say that there should be characters. We say that there should be a setting. We say that there should be dialogue. And we say that there should be a moral lesson. If we look at our first paragraph, we can see that this is the setting of the story, dear Lena, at home. It takes place where? In the valley. Who is the character here? The youngest girl. This is our character. So far we have only two characters here. It's the girl and what? The clay pot. The one that was cracked. So we have learned in the previous lesson when we were appreciating elements of style in reading that sometimes a writer may choose to use what? Personification. What is personification, dear Lena? It is when human attributes or human qualities or human characteristics are given to something that is not a human being, non-human object, like this clay pot. In this narrative text, personification has been used because human qualities has been given to the clay pot. It can speak. It can sigh. It can grin. That is what the reader or the writer, dear Lena at home, wanted you to notice. She wanted you to appreciate what? The element of style, which is what? Using personification in a narrative text for a certain purpose. Yes, dear Lena. Now, this is dialogue. Or we will rather say it is direct speech. We say that our characters should communicate. It adds meaning to the text. It makes the narrative text to be live. Every story should have characters that communicate or that speak because it makes it realistic. That is why the clay pot said, "Oh, I wish that I was whole again," it sighed. So this is direct speech because it is communicating. So when, dear Lena, you are given the task of writing a narrative text, remember that. Yes, dear Lena. We say that a narrative text should have a what? A plot. What is plot? It is the sequential order of events. Yes, just like this one. It takes place between 2 days. From home to the stream where there is water back home. So it is 1 day and the second day. That is the sequential order of this narrative text. It takes place in 2 days, from home, the first day, to the stream and back home. And the second day, it's when the young girl went to show the clay pots the flowers that were growing along the path because of the leaks of the water from the cracked clay pot. So dear learner at home, you should also do that when you are given the task of writing a narrative text. Make sure that your characters are communicating. Make sure that there is inverted commas which shows that someone is speaking. You open and close them. Dear learner at home, let us move forward. We have done this activity. Now here is a summary of our lesson for today. What have we learned in today's lesson, dear learner? We have learned that a narrative composition should have a what? Or a narrative text should have a what? Should have characters. You should also write about what? There should be setting. That is the time and the place where that narrative is taking place. Also, dear learner at home, remember that those characters should communicate with each other. Dear learner at home, there should be a climax or action. That is when there is action or it's the highest point of tension in the story. For example, here, how do we see the climax? It is when this little girl communicated directly with the clay pot and they went to the river and along the path to see what has been done by the leaks of the what? Of the clay pot. So your characters should have dialogue with each other, dear learner. Another thing, dear learner, there should be an ending. Every story has an ending. Either it's a happy ending or it's a sad ending. Like this one, it has a happy ending. That is where we get our clear message. In today's story, we learned that you should appreciate yourself the way you were made. Just like the clay pot, it ended up realizing that it had flaws, but it was meaningful to the flowers because it used to water them. Through the leaks, the flowers grow. So just as you are a young person, dear learner, do not discourage yourself. Do not see yourself as something that is useless. Be you who you are. Appreciate yourself the way you were made because you are fearfully and wonderfully made. That is the moral lesson we get, dear learner, after reading this text. So, dear learner at home, I believe this is the end of our lesson today. Remember to sanitize your hands. Remember to keep safe. Always wear a mask. Over to you, Nogwazi.
Thank you so much, Doreen, for your lesson. We are hoping your Form 1s and Form 2s now can appreciate the style and the narrative text. Thank you so much, and we're wishing you a lovely day, of course.
Thank you so much, Nogwazi.
Thank you. Form 4s, please get closer to your screens. Up next is your English language lesson with Kombisa Lukele. We will be right back after this.
We are presently witnessing a disturbing rise in the number of gender-based violence cases.
There's no reason ukuthi ungaze ugcina utibulala nje because impilo imnanzi kakhulu ukuthi wena songachuza ukutibulala.
Ngoba lapho nababakhulumisa ahlali likhambi lingabi lingaphumi.
Labantu labasikade nalabalesibasomako sebemele ukuthi nangisamsoma angicele lutho lwami.
Kukhona imvulo engamphathi kahle akabhoboke akhulume kulomunye khona adomnceza amsidi.
Buka kwami ngicabanga ukuthi if umuntu akwehlula it's better kumiyekela.
Ngoba lokhu gijimele esandleni noma sokukhipha umphefumulo kude lesisombululo.
Ngikhuluma noma yakumakhelwane noma uya emaphoyiseni anyway la ungaya khona ubona ukuthi ungasidakala.
Diningi na itinsita letikhona ngekubuka kwami lokuthi nangenteka nangabe umvu abuka lokuthi sekuyamehlula yena diningi letindlela angaya kuto bakhona nebakaswaga la ngaya kuba meluleke kanti nembutho wembube ke kwanawo nje so abanawo litiko
ngiloko nje bekunene ukuthi sesibukweni letinfo leti sitogweme letinfo leti kanjalo lengasikhona tihlazo kuze sitokhona kuphila ngiloko kwakangwane
ungadibulali ungangibulali asingabulalani.
In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God. The Word was God. Everything that was made through the Word. Nothing that was made without the Word. And God, being the Word, made man in his own image. God spoke his word, and in the flesh his word became flesh, and his word found place in the flesh of man. And man, having had been made in the likeness of God, was given the heart by God. The heart was a wonderful work of art, but a hidden work of art, crafted with more than just blood vessels, veins and chambers. The heart was made up of multiple chambers, chambers containing man's hidden thoughts and intentions, for God's intention was to converse with man through his thoughts and intentions. And God saw that it was good. God saw that it was good, and everything was good, not until the heart became a bone of contention. The chambers of man's heart were broken into. The sly serpent had managed to slither into man's heart, boring treacherous teeth into the outer chambers of the heart, releasing his venomous venom to make its way around the heart, through the veins of the heart. And when it got into the inner chambers of the heart, it poisoned man's pure thoughts and intentions, for Satan's only intention was to harden the heart to God's ways and God's word. For Satan hates man with all of his heart, and so it was that man's heart was no longer pure. Over time, man's heart became harder than stone. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth spoke pellets and rough rocks. The mouth formed out of the abundance of the heart. The mouth spoke hatred and dark thoughts. The mouth formed. This was not good. God saw that this was not good. God, being ever so good, spoke his word. God sent forth his word in the flesh, to redeem the flesh. For the word of God is living and powerful, sharper than any double-edged sword, piercing even to the division of the spirit, of the bone and of the marrow. See, all of man's ways, parts, thoughts, and intentions are known to God, for man was crafted by God. See, God wants your heart. He doesn't want part of your heart or 3/4 of your heart. He wants all of your heart. So today, if you hear his voice, please don't harden your heart.
Ngabukela ke washa umkhukhu every Sunday at 3 p.m.
imbi yeqeda i-HIV kanye namalale fever.
Kubika Sibusiso Ngubane anamba ngwadube kacoma indaba kalavumisa
Government of Eswatini TV ngilingithini kule nginamba ngwadube sitemba bani.
Why should we pay our TV license?
The content on our local television is actually more up to date. The industry is enhanced.
It is a criminal offense not to pay your TV license and attracts a fine of 500 emalangeni or 6 months imprisonment.
And the industry is definitely blooming, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what we have for you. But we'll be right back just after the break and we'll give you more of Miss V. pay my TV license. That's why I can enjoy the benefits of an enhanced industry and keep track with recent transformation.
Mommy, who paid for a TV license and what are they paying for?
The owners of TV set and a gadget with a tuner like DVD set have to pay.
Pay your TV license at Nedbank with the details provided on screen. Or use your cell phone via the mobile money Pay. You could also visit your nearest post office and pay there.
Pay your TV license via Eswatini Mobile Imali. Any TV device retailer can purchase a license to trade.
Pay your TV license and enhance the industry.
Maswati, sivele sinakuthula nenhlonipho. Pulpit ya Afrika konakalephi. Leni ngalendlela. Buqala banza kangaka Maswati. Kuthi bulala. Kubulalana. Leni. Umoya wekungabi nendzaba. Kuhlukubetana. Konakalephi Maswati. Namuhla uthi ugane umuntu kulomthandzako nalokuthandzako kani ugane umbulali. Sekulula kuqitheka kwengadi nekuphuma komphefumulo. Konakalephi. Leni ngalendlela. Bantwana abasabethembi batali. Bashaywa badlwengulwe babulawe kabuhlungu. Sibinzi noma yini lena. Leni. Uphi nembeza. Awusashaya nalivalo usaqabanga kwendalo bubi nemonakalo. Siqalekiso. Awunendzaba. Ya awunendzaba. Konakalephi. Uqabangane usambamba akhala kabuhlungu. Uyamdlwengula uyakhala. Ujatshuliswa yini wena? Uyalaya. Uyalaya. Mbulali uyatiphinzisela. Leni. Bese kude yini lenye indlela. Bese ungaze umbulale. Bese ungaze umshaye umhlukubete kanjena. Leni. Uyatiphinzisela. Uyalaya. Akusiko. Ungambulali. Ungadibulali. Singambulali.
I mean, God had to go at me a number of times before I finally swallowed this. Because we just have such a wrong mindset about what God expects out of us. And you know what religion is? Religion is what we think God expects out of us instead of us looking at what He's done for us. We have worth and value not because of what we do, but because Jesus died for us. Because we're no better than anybody else. Anything that we are that in Christ, or we're nothing at all. And I enjoy ministry so much more now. I'm so comfortable, and I love God, and I like myself, and I don't care what you think about that, but I just like myself. I spent enough years hating myself. I'm done with all that. Amen.
Ngiphinze ngikwemukele ehlelweni lakho loluthandzako lokufundza usekhaya i-home study. Ligama lami ngingunokwazi Dlamini. Kanti kulesikhathi samanje sitawufundza Siswati selibanga lelishumi kanye naye Machawe Dlamini losavele anami etendlini tekusakata. Unjani Machawe?
Ngiyaphila Nokwazi, unjani wena?
Ngiyaphila Machawe. Namhla sidabe senda lisondvo liyagicika.
Kunjalo Nokwazi.
Sifinyeto nesingeniso.
Sifinyeto nesingeniso.
Ubheke ukuthi umfundzi wakho ekhaya afundzeni ekupheleni kwalesifundvo.
Umfundzi utaba ifundzile indzaba lethi lisondvo liyagicika, aphinza abuke nesihloko sayo ukuthi sime kanjani.
Okay, siyabonga Machawe. Sethembe ukuthi umfundzi ekhaya sawuvele usilungisele isifundo sakhe. Ngicabanga ukuthi ungaqala nesifundo sakho Nkosi.
Siyabonga Nokwazi. Mina bamalokotha ngilomnyama ngilosenhlambelweni malokotha ngilomnyama ngilonjengenyama yesibanda. Ingane inyama yesibanda ke mswazi omnyama kayisamnandi kuphekweni imnandi kuseni. Thishela lokubingelela komfundzi ekhaya nguye thishela wakho Eswati Machawe Dlamini. Lo tabe anawe esifundweni sethu salomuhla sibuka yona indzaba lemfisha lenesihloko lesithi lisondvo liyagicika. Sitawuqala ke mfundisi ngikubuka bona bomcoka baso sifundo kuthi engabe sifundo sethu simcoka ngani. Sifundo sethu ke mfundisi sibalulekile kulolonga likhono lekuhlatiya nekucubungula imicondvo lejulile kuyo yonke imibhalo. Kukhutsata lutsandvo lokufundza kulola likhono lekubhala tindzatshana letihlamusako ngoba sithi nase sifundzile ke mfundzi ngendzaba lemfishane sicije lona likhono lekwekuthi umfundzi akhone ukutibhalela ikakhulu kulo phela liphepha lekucala lapho sibheke ukuthi umfundzi abhale khona indzaba. Asiqhubeke mfundzi sibuke yona imigomo yaso sifundo sethu salomuhla. Ekupheleni kwalesifundo salamuhla ubhekeke ukuthi ukhone kufinyeta indzaba loniketwe yona, ukhone kuhlatiya sihloko, ukhone nokubuka uhambelana kwesihloko nendzaba. Sithi ke mfundzi uma uyifundza indzaba na iniketwe isihloko lesitsite kufanele leso sihloko bese siyahambelana phela netikigaba letivelako kuyo indzaba yethu. Ungakhanzi nje ukuthi umbhali unikete indzaba sihloko lesithi kodwa lolo kulakhatsi akuhambelani naleso sihloko. Asicale ke mfundzi sente sibuyeketo sesifundo lesengcile. Esifundweni lesengcile ke sasicedzela yona indzaba lemfisha lenesihloko lesithi imvisa buhlungu. Kuyo ke sihlatiye sicongo kwavela kwekuthi silapho dokotela aveta kwekuthi Vuyani uneligciwane le-HIV/AIDS. Satfola tifundo letfaya ekhatsi buhle bekutiphatsa kahle nengcikithi lethi bungoti beligciwane lembulalavu. Asingene ke mfundzi kiso sifinyeto sendzaba yethu lenesihloko lesithi lisondvo liyagicika. Ngiyethemba incwadi yakho khulumani sive sewuyisonzetile thute nawe sewubukile nje ekhatsi encwadini yakho sitawubuka yona indzaba lethi lisondvo liyagicika. Sifinyeto Themba utibutaka cethi ukuthi kanzi impilo ini. Simthola usendlini yakhe umile kuphambana imicabango engcondweni yakhe. Ume njengesiphundi nje wavila kade ubuke isithombe lesilapha etulu elibonzeni endlini yekuphumula. Sikudonsa ulapha khashane. Intfombi ikuleti mhlophe tembatho. Kusukela etulu kude kuyoshaya ecathulweni. Enhloko itihlobise ngetimendlela letikhatitelako tebuhlalu litihamba nembali lemhlophe lethe nje caba etinelweni letishwile kamnanzi. Enzanyeni nakhona igabe buhlalu lobusuka emisebe yelanga buthi abucwabe yonke inzamo. Intfombi yahlekelela buso buveta ematinyo lamhlophe busonzele kulobo belijaha nalo leligcoke isudu leligolide ngembala lihambisana nelishethi lelimnyama lawa langadzingi kufakelwa thayi. Nalo lijaha lijabulile. Indzawo lapho bathebula tithombe khona yinhle. Tjani buluhlata cwe eceleni kwelidamu lekubhukusha. Kunetitulo letinhle tekungcebeleka tihlala khona tivakashi taleli hotela. Imbela kwakukuhle kutselile. Uyadzela lobeka khona kule ndumezulu yemshado. Indlela lebekwembathwe ngayo beyikhomba ukuthi lilanga lelikhulu futhi limcoka. Bantfu bebakhona ngulabo lebabamenyiwe bangena ngekukhipha tincwajana emakhadi esimemo. Bantfu labebete kulomshado ngathi bebangaketi ngetinyawo ngoba timoto betilapha ngaphandle bekungathi kuhlangene bosotigitsigitsi. Asinake ke mfundzi ukuthi uma sikhuluma ngabosotigitsigitsi sikhuluma ngebantfu labanemali. Ngiko umbhali uyachubeka athi banikati bemali phela. Betishiyana ngemtshefezo lonke lihlobo lwemoto lesembili belukhona. Eholeni khona imbita yayiviwa ngeluthi. Emsamo kukhala timfijoli telukhetselo. Lowe lugitali yena bekungathi sewuyahlanya. Kwevakala kukhala kwemahutha ngani bese kungito timoto letita namakoti. Wehla makoti wangena emnyango wawungathi langa ngikhani liphuma naloku bese kuyinsimbi yelishumi. Jabuke muhle. Jabuke muhle. Nakamoyitela kuba ngathi letihlathi titawutsilika emasweti. Emehlo akhe ayiphathwa yawo. Wena lo wabona bolobuhle kumabona kutse. Imphumulwana yakhe beyicijise kwelingisi. Uyise lomkhulu wevakala athi namuhla nginikela intombi ntfo. Loko wakusho ngekuti gcapha. Jabuke abetiphethe kahle kangangekuba bakubo abazange sebambone umkhonyana wabo atojuma. Umfundisi usho emagama lamatima lathi lokuhlanganiswe inkosi ngeke kwehlukaniswe lutho kuyohlukaniswa kufa. Babukana lababili ngelutsandvo lodva. Jabuke vele abe nesimilo lesihle wonke umuntu walapha emvutshini abebona ukuthi cha unina akatange abole emathumbu noma abetelwe dinjinga. Jabu abengakakuthwali enhloko lokho abetatela yena nje kuphela. Bantwana bakamdluli nje bonke bebahlonipha. Waphela umshado kwadliwa kwaba kuhle impela. Asinake ke mfundisi ukuthi sesithole balingisi lababili yena Themba Vilakati kanye na Jabu wakamdluli lesivetelwa bona sisayifinyeta indzaba yethu. Siyachubeka naso sifinyeto sethu. Emva koluvakasho lwalabasanza kushada. Themba Vilakati wangenisa umkakhe endlini lensha lebeyingakade ihlale umuntu ePine Valley eMbabane. Yayinhle isho ngemagede ayo lakhaditelako ativula aphinze ativale. Imoto yaThemba yayitisho ukuthi umnikati wayo usebenta emalini ebhange. Lokubuhlungu ukuthi nakusukunyiswa tihlobo taThemba nakusukunyiswa tihlobo taThemba atibonakalanga kwaba bangani kuphela. Wonke umuntu watibonela ukuthi Jabu wawuthumela lugundwane umendvo. Ingabe kusho ukuthini ukuthi umendvo uthumelela igundwane. Bashada nje Jabu ucetsa kuphothula enyuvesi uthole ticu kutepolitiki netekuphatsa. Themba yena uneminyaka lemibili acetsile enyuvesi yena ke abenda tifundvo tekubala imali nekugcina emabhuku ato timali. Kwajabula wonke umuntu ukubona Themba umfana lomncane asathenge indlu lenkulu ahamba ngemoto lenhle. Themba abethi nasaphuma endlini aphume kanye nemkakhe umkhipha phela ayithumise imoto bangane nemkakhe bese bayaphuma ishaye kancane ite imegedeni nalo ligede lente tindvotalo litivule liphinze litivale. Jabuke bekasala ngemuva ekhaya kwatise ukuthi usengakacashwa noko uyatibhala tincwadzi tekucela umsebenti. Kwanyalo la kusebentako kuphekeletela Themba bangane aphakamise sandla avalelise umyeni wakhe. Sahamba sikhathi kwaphela umnyaka kwathi ngeminyaka wesibili batubula ngelijaha. Lokhu ke siyabona ukuthi boThemba kanye naye Jabu kwathi sekuphele iminyaka lemibili bathathene bathola umntwana wabo wekucala lokwaba nguye umfana. Lokunye lokufanele sikunake emfundzi ngiyo impilo yabo kwekuthi Themba uthi nakacetsa kushada nje bangene endlini lenhle khona ePine Valley aphindza athenge imoto yakanokusho ngoba phela siyabona ukuthi Themba ufundzile futhi uyasebenta naku usebenta ebhange. Nakutalwa lomfana Themba besabuya angasemuhle ebusweni. Abekhala ngetinkinga tasemsebentini. Cishe sonke isikhathi nasekubalwa kuhlanganiswa timali letiphumile naletingenile kuthiwe yaThemba ayivumelani nesibalo kukhona leshodako. Themba abe ngulomunye webashinji betimali. Umkakhe abemthuthuta ukuthi angahlupheki. Liqiniso litamkhulula. Titha ngeke tiphumelele. Jabu wakukhanza konke kukhona. Ifurniture yekudula cishe onke emakamelo. Jabu abewasha ngemshini akhomba ngalosekhathi. Noko ke kukhona bese kuphatamisa Jabu. Ngemalanga ekuphela kwenyanga Themba bese kavame kubandva inhloko. Uma abuya emsebentini avele aconze ekamelweni lakhe alale. Abembuta Jabu ukuthi yini avele angayi kadokotela acele incwadi yekuphumula abe ngasekhaya. Tincwadi letathunyelwa nguJabu temsebenti kude nayinye lebeyithembisa. Lokhu kwamhlupha Jabu kwatise bese kungumnyaka wesine angasebenzi. Bese sitwa magama enina lathi akuyiwa kanye kungasiko esitibeni. Jabu abengakwadi kuhlupheka ngoba akhule ekhaya lapho kukhona konke. Asinake ke mfundisi ukuthi ekusebenteni kwakhe Themba kukhona lokungamhambeli kahle. Kuthiwa bekuthiwa nasekubalwa imali enzambama mhlambe nasashayisa emsebentini tingaconzani lokusho ukuthi bekuba khona lapho ishoda khona. Kuphinze ke kuyabonakala ukuthi bekuthi nasekuyiwa ngasekupheleni kwenyanga sekufanele kuholwe Themba abuye akhala ngenhloko. Siyatibuta ke ukuthi engabe yini le elementa Themba akhale ngenhloko ngoba phela siyesathi ukuthi umuntu nakatawuholo uyajabula. Yini ke lele ngamchazi Themba. Asichubeke nayo indzaba mfundisi. Themba wachubeka ngako kukhonona ngayo impilo lemunyu yasemsebentini. Ngalelinye lilanga Jabu wavuka ekseni walungisela umyeni wakhe kudla nemanti ekugeza. Kepha akawevanga emanti endlini yokugezela wathi nakahlola wamangala kubona Themba solo atihlalele embhedzeni alele. Wathi nakambuta ukuthi akayi yini emsebentini waphendvula ngele ukuthi awungiyekele Jabu. Thatha licingo ubashayele ubatshele ukuthi ngiyagula. Lesendo lesi saThemba samhlupha emoyeni Jabu kanye nayo lendlela lamphendvula ngayo. Lokunye lebesakubona Jabu ukuthi Themba nakabuya emsebentini abesavame kuhlafuna ishungamu adle nemaswidi lawo lahahako eliphunga lelimnanzi. Indvo lebekangavami kuyenda. Abechaza ukuthi lamaswidi ayamphumuta lapha engcondweni ngoba emsebentini bayachubeka nekumphatha kabi. Ngalelinye lilanga Jabu wathola simanga wathi ufuna tincwadzi telucingo nagezi watithela tincwadzini letimbili letibhalwe kuthi final warning watifundza. Yekucala yasebhange lapho Themba abesebenta khona. Yesibili yesitolo sefurniture esikhwahlande. Tonke tithi Themba sewunikwa lithuba lekugcina kubhadala tikwelete kwatise sewusemuva. Jabu wetama kuyingenisa kahle kumyeni wakhe atibutisa mayelana netintfo letibhadalwako lapha ekhaya. Wasitfola simanga kunekuthi athole imphendvulo leconzile. Themba wavuka lulaka athi Jabu uhlushwe yini ngetikweleti talapha ekhaya. Kwekucala akasebendi angamtshela utobese uyatibhadala yini. Kulesikhathi lesi ke mfundisi kuyasicacela ukuthi yini lelenda Themba abanzelwe inhloko nasekufanele kuholwe. Nati tikweleti timdlangele siyabona ukuthi libhange selimbhalele incwadi lethi final warning kanjalo nesitolo sefurniture solo siyamhambela tikwelete la kangasakhona ukubhadala Themba. Khumbula ke mfundisi ukuthi unele kushada Themba wangena nemkakhe endlini lenshasha lapho Jabu akhanze ifurniture iphelele kuwo onke emakamelo. Waphinze wathenga yakanokusho imoto lehamba embili phela. Sekuyabonakala ke ukuthi tonke letintfo leti kungendeka ukuthi Themba watithatha ngesikwelete. Naku phela libhange seliyamhambela kanjalo nesitolo sefurniture sesiyamhambela. Lolo sekwenta ukuthi ke abanzelwe inhloko. Lokunye lesitibuta kona mfundisi ukuthi engabe Themba sewucala kudla ishungamu nje nemaswidi lahahako seyini lele ngaka ngoba phela bekuyindwe bekasolo angayendi sewuguculwe yini ukuthi akwende kuthiwa njalo nakabuya emsebentini abesavame kuhlafuna ishungamu adle emaswidi lawo lahahako eliphunga lelimnanzi indvo lebekangakavami kuyenda kuyabonakala ke mfundisi ukuthi sisafunza indzaba yethu cha sitayicela ivuthiwe impela asichubeke naso sifinyeto sendzaba yethu siyakhumbula ukuthi Themba naye Jabu bacale bathola umntwana wemfana sesiyathola ke ukuthi nguye Melusi ke kufike isigaba sekuthi angene enkhulisa uyise indzawo wayithola esikolweni sebelumbi lesisembili naso lesibitako umgamu tinkhulungwane letimbili Jabu yamkhatsata lempilo emakhabetheni kwakuhle kubade letinye tintfo tikweleti tagesi nemanti bese tihle tingabhadalwa netikweleti tetitolo tetimphahla tifikile Themba bekatsi akafuni kuthiwe Jabu uyahlupheka kwatise kutsi wamthatha agcoka impahla yeligama lelithi label phela nebantfu abami ngifuna babonakale ukuthi bakhona kulommango siyanaka ke mfundisi ukuthi ngetulu kwaleti kweleti Themba lanato tikweleti temoto tikweleti tefurniture sekuphinze kunemntwana lokufanele angene esikolweni siyabona ke ukuthi naye umntwana umfaka esikolweni saka nokusho isikolo lesihamba embili phela sebelungu nayi imali lefunekako tinkhulungwane letimbili ngesigaba lo sekuphinze kucaka ngiko ukuthi khona emtini kavilakati kunetintfo lesetihle tishoda emakhabetheni tikweleti tagesi nemanda tibhadala nato titolo tetimphahla tifuna kona lokungekwako lesimo ke asimjabulisanga Jabu wakubona kukuhle kuya kuba kubo ayewufuna teluleko wagcina acabanga dzadzewabo lobekasebenta emahhovisi ahulumende kulawo malanga Themba watibonakalisa ukuthi akusibo bulukhuni bemsebenti lobumenda abenje kukhona lokunye ngaleli langa leli Themba wabuya ekhaya phakathi nebusuku ngensimbi ye12 wefika wakhahlela sivalo nalapha emlonyeni akhipha abalisa ngemuti wakhe wavuka ke wamdluli waphumputha emnyameni wagcina akhanyisile wamvulela wayenza wangena embhedzeni neticathulo nathayi Jabu ke wagcina ayile kudzadzewabo longumabhalane lomkhulu bahlala phansi walulanza ludzaba lwakhe kudzadzewabo naye lo waqale waphawula ngesimo langiso Jabu lesingajabulisi Jabu wamvetela dzadzewabo ukuthi Themba sewunatha tshwala langa kukholwanga gugu wathembisa kukhuluma naThemba kwatise bayevana sesiyabona ke mfundisi ukuthi ingabe kuya ngani ukuthi Themba abuye emsebentini adla nanga emaswidi lahahako kanye neshungama sewucale kunatha tshwala indvo langakavami indvo lebeka ngayendi phambilini Jabu wamvetela dzadzewabo ukuthi lokubuhlungu Themba akakhulumi lutho yena socabanga ukuthi wenyanyiswa ngulokungasebenzi kwakhe khumbula ke mfundisi ukuthi iminyaka semine Jabu aphothula enyuvesi kodwa umsebenziso lokude loku kumenta ngalesinye isikhathi angalali kahle acabanga vele utibuta ukuthi kumsita ngani kuphothula enyuvesi yena wehluke ngani kumuntu longayanga esikolweni Jabu wakhihla sililo gugu wathi angakhali wamvetela ukuthi kukhona langatilibatisa ngako mane athengise Jabu akakuthokoteli lokuthi loku uthi sisi angiyibhuthi leyo nto ngingacala ini nje mina bese ngehluka ngedwa nje ekhaya. Nonke niyasebenza nicashiwe. Mine ke ngibe ngincengana nebantu. Bangabona ukuthi vele sengihlupheke embamba. Khumbula ukuthi Jabu usuka ekhaya lelinothile. Themba ukuthi wamthatha ekhaya lapho bakhomba ngalo sekhathi khona. Ngiko ke eva ngathi kuye uthengisa kuyamhlaza. Yena naye uva ngathi akasebenze njengabo othathe wabo. Bagcina bayavalelisana, Jabu akayiva ekuthengisa. Nake fika ke ekhaya wefikisana naMelusi. Wavula sikhwama njengasemihleni kubuka ukuthi kuphelele konke yini lahambe nako ekuseni. Awu watithela ephepheni leligociwe libhalwe ngemagama labovu. Incwadi lethi Melusi ukweleda imali yesikolo letinkulungwane letine. Angabuyi esikolweni angakabhadali. Nemoto yesikolo angeke iseda kuTomlanza. Awu siyabona mfundisi ukuthi inkinga kaVulakati diyacwabelana. Nangu nemntwana sewuyacoshwa esikolweni ngenzaba yemali yesikolo la ikweledako. Shabu kumvisa lobukhulu ubuhlungu loku ute uyakhala. Ngaleli langa leli Themba abe ngulomhlaba futhi kusebusuku kuyogcwala insimbi ye10. Wangena atsayitela wabita Melusi na Jabu ukuthi batomshayela tandla agitse ajabule. Jabu wambikela indzaba yekucoshwa kwaMelusi esikolweni. Waphendvula ngekuthi Melusi abotshela bothishela ukuthi yena uliswati. Wakhula ahlupheka. Akasebenzi emgodzini eJozi. Bathi uyithathaphi le mali. Jabu kwamvisa buhlungu. Wativalela ekamelweni laMelusi wakhala wate walala lapho. Wafikelwa ngumcabango wekuyocela imali kuma kwakhe mane atobhadalela Melusi. Themba wemukwa imoto. Bekathi nakashayisa endlule ebhaleni. Angasadli, adla lokuyinyama. Vele ke bese kumahlala khona lokutsako. Lempilo lena yagcina imehlula Jabu wagcina aye kunina kuyotihamula. Make wakhe wathi utomnika le mali kepha ke akabuyele kakhe. Libanjwa lishisa. Bangaze bathi wehlulwe umendvo. Wathi nakafika endlini watithela kuThemba. Babukana. Tehla tinyembeti kuThemba. Siyanaka ke mfundisi ukuthi inkinga soloti yacwabelana khona kaVulakati. Umntwana uyakweleta. Themba wemukwa imoto. Naye ke impilo yakhe akasayinaki kanganani kwatise ukuthi sewunatha onke malanga. Nekudla akasadli. Kuzama ke kubuka lesimo Jabu uyahamba uya ekhaya kibo lapho acela khona imali kunina. Lomnikako ke imali ukuthi ayobhadalela umntwana esikolweni. Lesikunakako ke nguye umhambo wesiswati ukuthi umfati ufela emendweni. Noma ngabe kushisa kwani nangu phela unina waJabu uthi ibanjwa ishisa. Bangade bantu bamhleke ukuthi wehlulwe umendvo. Wamvusela Jabu wambuta nekuthi ukhalelana. Waphendvula Themba kuthi ucoshiwe emsebentini. Wamniketa naleyo ncwadi yekucosha kwakhe. Walungisa sidlo sansambama Jabu noko Themba akadlanga. Themba wavele watbonakalisa ukuthi akasasebenzi. Wahohloka ngemzuzwana. Wagucuka wabadiga nje temuntu. Naye bese akufisa kufa kodwa kumbalekela. Jabu wabeka tinkulungwane letisihlanu kule mali layinikwa unina. Melusi wabiyela esikolweni. Jabu bekahle avakashela labomake labathengisa emakethe. Wafunza lokuningi etinkulumeni tabo nabacoca ngetidzingo nebulukhuni labadibana nabo kulomsebenzi. Ngalelinye lilanga wahamba kahle impela ngoba bomake bafuna abaphathele emasaka etibhitfo letehlukene. Siyabona ke ukuthi simo khona kaVulakati sesimende Jabu wayigucula ingqondo wafuna kungena kutisebenta naye. Kwabalula ngoba abetothatha imvumo yama kwakhe lebese ihleti isikhathi aboleke nemoto lenelugwembezi kugugu tsatse wabo. Uthena kehla ebhasini wasithola lesinye simanga. Nayo iloli lenkulu ime eceleni kwendlu. Kunemadvots akhipha yonke ifurniture ingena elolini. Kumale Jabu avakale sathi, "Yebe kunene, ngitanibopha. Ngicekeza umuntu wami." Yamphendvula lenye yalamadvots ayathi bona bathatha lokungekwabo. Ifurniture ayibhadalwanga sesitse sikhathi. Yaveta nekuthi Jabu ujatshuliswa luthumo lwefurniture lenhle langayingene ukuthi kumele ibhadalwe. Umangele Jabu ngoba tange sebayikhulume le furniture naThemba ukuthi nayo ayikapheli kubhadalwa. Imoto sebayithethe, ifurniture sebayithethe. Nembala yahamba iloli nefurniture. Jabu wangena endlini wayikhanza ishaya umoya. Themba umile uyahihitela ubuke isithombe sabo semshado. Kusele timbali netithombe lokuhlotshiswe ngako kanye nekhaphethi. Jabu wehluleka kukhuluma wakhala. Washayela tsatse wabo kumatisa ngeluhambo lwakhe nako kucela kubolekwa imoto. Nakabeka lucingo phasi kwabe kuma imoto eminyango yemaphoyisa. Ehla amabili asonzela abuta ukuthi kukaThemba Vilakati yini lapha. Damshela kanjalo Themba waboshwa ngetinsolo tekuthi bekeba imali yelibhange. Themba wacolisa kumkakhe abe aphuma naye emaphoyisa. Jabu naye wabuka leso sithombe wakhumbula ukuthi ngalelo langa lekuboshwa kwaThemba bahlanganisa iminyaka lesithupha bashadile. Siyabona ke mfundisi ukuthi kaVilakati akubahambeli kahle. Ngetulu kwekuthathela ifurniture Themba uyaboshwa. Asikhumbule ukuthi sibonile sisayiteka indzaba kwekuthi bekuthi nakushona lilanga sekubalwa timali. Kubonakale ukuthi yaThemba ayihlangani kusukela kulena lesetshento ekseni kude kube ngithambama. Nako ke egcineni uboshwa ngetinsolo tekuthi bekeba imali yelibhange. Ingabe bekaye bambamba yini. Kona bekaye belana sebenda kahle nje. Sitayicela ivuthiwe mfundisi. Kulesikhathi sanyalo mfundisi asibuke sona sihloko sayo indzaba yethu. Sisihlatile. Sihloko sethu sithi lisondvo liyagicika. Singabuka nje mfundisi lona lisondvo lemoto. Uma ihamba liyagicika, liye embili noma liye emuva. Usho ukuthini ke lokho mfundisi? Lesihloko lesi sisaka sichaza ukuthi tindvo atihlali tinguleso simo lesikhona noma lesetayelekile. Tindvo atihlali tinguleso simo lesikhona noma lesetayelekile. Asesibuke ke mfundisi ukuthi ingabe lesihloko sethu siyahambelana yini nalokwenteka endzabeni. Sihloko ke siyahambisana nendzaba ngoba vele siyatibona tindvo tiyashintsha. Tiyasuka esimeni sato. Asikhumbule mfundisi ukuthi khona kaVilakati bekunekujabula. Jabu utalelwe ekhaya lelinothile. Uma bathathana naThemba, Themba umendela konke, umngenisa endlini lensha, linefurniture lensha, baphila impilo lekahle. Kanjalo phinze banemoto yakanokusho. Siyabona kujatshuliwe. Kodwa sisachubeka sikhathi. Impilo yabo iba lusizi. Themba lobeka ngumuntu lolungile, wamgucukela wabasilwane empilweni yakhe. Futhi nekuphila kahle angesweli lutho kwamphelela. Siyakhumbula ukuthi Themba simbona angumuntu locotho. Uma icala indzaba akabunathi tshwala, akakhombisi nekuthi angaba ngumuntu logangako. Kodwa sekuyahamba kuyabonakala ukuthi Themba weba imali yelibhange. Sewuphinze ubuya unatha tshwala. Naso nje sigameko uyabagitsisa ebusuku bamshayela tandla. Kuyabonakala ukuthi impilo seyishintshile. Akusesimnanzi. netindvo sekude emakhabetheni kanjalo bayahamba badliwa nayo ifurniture kuthathwe imoto agcine aboshwa Themba ngiko ke sithi tindvo setigucukile kusuka esimeni lesihle lapho bebajabula khona kumnanzi kavulakade nyalo simo sesilusizi sebede lutho kanjalo naThemba sekucoshiwe emsebentini sewuphindze uyaboshwa ngiso ke sihloko sethu leso mfundzi ngithi kangivete ke mfundzi ukuthi sesifike kiso phela siphetho saso sifundo sethu lo muhla besibuka indzaba lemfisha lenesihloko lesithi lisondlo liyagicika lapho sende khona sifinyeto sabona buhle bempilo yaThemba asasebenta ashadile kanye nekugucuka kwayo ibe munyu lapho asandanda khona etikweledini aze adliwa nempahla sesihlatile ke nesihloko sethu satfola ukuthi lesihloko sisaga sichaza ukuthi tintfo atihlali tinguleso simo lesikhona noma lesetayelekile esifundweni lesilandzelako ke sitawubuka singeniso sayo indzaba sibuke tesicongo sibuke balingisi sibuke tifundvo sicubungule kanye nayo ingcikitsi yayo indzaba yethu kwalamuhla mfundzi siphela lapho sifundo sethu sayo indzaba yethu lenesihloko lesithi lisondvo liyagicika.
Sibonge kakhulu Machawe, isifundo sakho besimnanzi kakhulu. Sethembe ukuthi bafundze ekhaya basijabulele. Sisitawubona netfundweni letlandzelako.
Siyabonga kakhulu nokwazi siyethemba ukuthi bafundzi basithokotele isifundo sethu salomuhle.
Siyabonga Machawe. Unfortunately, viewers at home, that brings us to the end of the show. We're hoping that you had a beautiful Tuesday afternoon of learning. We hope that we hope that you are going to enjoy tomorrow's learning, of course, which is a Wednesday. And this is what your Wednesday looks like. From 2 p.m. until 2:30 p.m. we have expressive art for the grades 1 and 2. From 2:30 p.m. until 3 p.m. we have science for grade 3 and 4. From 3 p.m. until 3:30 p.m. we have mathematics for the grades 5 and 6. From 3:30 p.m. until 4 p.m. we have Eswatini for the Form 1s and the Form 2s. From 4 p.m. until 4:30 p.m. we have biology for the Form 4s. And the last subject for the day is religious education for the Form 4s from 4:30 p.m. until 5 p.m. And of course, a reminder about our social media platforms, which are YouTube and Facebook, where we are live from 2 p.m. until 5 p.m. And of course, for you guys to use the WhatsApp number to text us any questions that you might have. And speaking of the YouTube platform, please do not forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel and also click on that bell to get any notifications that you might that we are live, of course. All right, from myself, Nogwazi, I will see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. from myself and the team. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.